Silly Talk Stitching, I'm back. It's probably been about 6 weeks since I last did a Flosstube. It is Sunday the 13th of August and I've got a few things to run through with you today, and I have a dog barking outside. I don't know why, continuously barking, but we'll go on. I've got loads. I'm very, very excited. So usual stuff, but for me, very, very exciting. I had 2 finishes. Two. That takes my grand total of finishes up to 3. Oh my word! So excited. I pushed on through those babies. So I've got those to show you, and I'm also going to show you my first ever finish, which is actually a final finished object because it's got a frame on it. I've had lots of haul. I've been enabled by you lovely stitchers all over Stitch Mania, etc. I've done quite a bit of stitching over the last 6 weeks. I've really made an effort to do quite a bit of stitching, and then some plans for the next 6 weeks. So I think that's probably going to be the frequency with which I try and put out these videos. I think 4 weeks is too small a time, and I'm never organised enough to do it. And quite frankly, I'm now doing this on the rush. My family are in the house. It's not normally so, so we might get visitors. We'll see how that goes. So my finishes. Oh, also I'm in my workspace, which is quite a small, tidy workspace. Well, it's not tidy, but it's small. So I'm all over the place. Lots of leaning. Lots of me going out shot. It'd be fun. Right, let's go on. Finishes. First, I'm going to show you my very first ever finished piece that I finished just after Christmas, and I'm going to show you why that's funny, because it was supposed to be done in time for Christmas and framed, and then I went and had it framed with my birthday money. So this is my first ever finish. Isn't it gorgeous? And I'm sure you will recognise the style straight off. It's Stitchrovia, Emma Condom, and it was a pattern from, I think, Cross Stitch Gold, October issue of 2015. And I've been stitching on it since about June last year. I stitched a bunch and then I stopped, which is normally what I do, and went on to other things. And then towards the end of last year I just thought, you know what, I had kind of all of this done, all of this down here done, and I just had year to do and then this side to do. So at the end of last year I really just made a concerted effort. There were a few little mistakes and a few little omissions. So here some of the shadow work isn't done, and I kind of noticed that just before I took it to be framed, but honestly I was done with the piece. I was like, you know what, no one who doesn't know this pattern isn't going to give a rat's bottom. And you'll see there's some back stitching here, and there's supposed to be the similar sort of back stitching up here, but again, I hate back stitching, so that didn't happen. I thought the composition looked fine without it, so I just went with that. I hate back stitching so much. And then on a similar theme, so here you'll see the angel's wings. I'm not sure if you can see them, but let's see if I can kind of get you up close and personal. So that's DMC metallic, which is hideous to stitch with, as I'm sure we all know. If we've ever had the misfortune to stitch with it, it's hideous. I hate it every single second. And there is supposed to be loads of this back stitching up here, loads of DMC metallic, very pretty, but honestly I do not have time for that. I don't have time for any of that. I made one small substitution just at the bottom here. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe, yeah, you can see it on the maroon here. So this is supposed to just be dark green. It's supposed to be this colour, just down here, like little vines. But I switched that out for a DMC green metallic. I don't know why. Well, I do, because it looks pretty, but again, hideous to stitch with. So this is my first ever stitched piece, and I love it. I omitted things up here because I was just bored by it, and I was just done. I very rarely stick to the pattern. Yeah, so this is Christmas, and I love Christmas, so it actually hasn't been down from its display place. I keep it up all year. I spent a lot of time on it. It's beautiful. I paid money to have it framed. Yeah, this sucker's staying up. So that is my first ever stitched piece, and I'm still in love with it. I think I've learnt a lot from stitching it, and I would do things differently. So this is on regular 14 count Ada. I would either change the fabric to a lower count, or up here you're going to see that the coverage isn't so good. I don't know if you can, but the coverage isn't great because I don't know about you, but I'm finding DMC a little bit thin. But I have a theory about that, and I'll talk to you about that in a bit. But I would probably do, and there's one here that just hasn't got their second leg. But I learnt quite a lot from this piece. And one of the big things I learned is that you change your patterns. You know, not just the colours. If you're not feeling a bit of your pattern and you just don't want to stitch it, don't stitch it. I didn't. I'm not here for back stitching. I very rarely do back stitching unless it's absolutely necessary. I hate it. You know, so there's bits all over here that I haven't back stitched. Like here also is supposed to have back stitching to outline the letters. No, I'm not here for that. It's supposed to be fun. So yeah, I'm really proud of this piece. So yeah, it's only down now because I wanted to show you lovely people. Now on to my actual finishes. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I can't even tell you. I did a bunch, I went back on Instagram for this because I was just so pleased. I stayed up late to finish this piece. It's my Harry Potter piece. Ta-da! Look at that. Look at it. Oh, I'm so pleased. However, a few things again. So, I mean, I could still kind of change it, I suppose. There's supposed to be like waves and stuff and boats down here, but I'd messed up the dimensions of my fabric. I'd bought ready cut fabric from Hobbycraft, and I'd measured it, and I thought, oh yeah, I could, you know, fudge it. But then I compounded that error by. So I'm going to tell you what I did. I was talking about compounding my error. Talk about errors. I've just been chatting for the last 15 minutes and showing you all of my lovely stuff that I've been doing, and I wasn't recording. I am awesome. Let's not forget the many, many things at which I excel, none of which are operating videos. I was talking about compounding my error. Let's go back to the beginning. Here it is, and I compounded my error by not having enough fabric. But also, I then didn't do the middle of my fabric with the middle of the pattern. I'm awesome. And so, you know, there's just not enough room down the bottom for the boats. That's fine. I wasn't bothered. The other thing, were I to do it again, which I wouldn't, let's not stitch the same thing twice, but were I, or if I were telling someone else, you know, if you're stitching on white Ada, don't use the white thread. I mean, white thread is heinous anyway. DMC especially showed so, but I was using Anchor, which is far superior to DMC, but is still a pain in the backside to use. I would not stitch the white stitching. I don't necessarily think you can tell. Not at the distance you're going to be standing from it. And as we all, I mean, I'd done quite a lot of the, like I do the white down here obviously because it delineates the bit underneath, but like I'd done quite a lot of these windows and I was halfway through it. So like, why am I doing this? But we all know I'm not at home to frogging. I do not tear stitches out. I fudge or I will burn the piece. So I just carried on. But I'm really pleased with this, and my son has laid claim to it. So now I've shown you fine people, I'm going to get this framed. I don't want to frame that one myself. I've never framed before. I don't know how good it's going to be. Also, I'm really thirsty. So, really happy with that piece. And we'll get into that in a minute. The other bit that I finished was Carcassonne map. There we go. Can you see? I loved this piece, and this was a really easy stitch, and it didn't take very long at all. And I know that there are a few cross stitches who are also board game players, and I'm hoping there'll be some more board game charts coming out. So this is by Graded Expectations from Etsy. The Hogwarts one is Stitchline, again from Etsy. So if you play Carcassonne, you know that this is a dick move, right? So what's happening is you're going to score points. The blue is scoring points for all of this city if they can just finish the city off over here, just like a little section over here. Now yellow is going to join his bit up with blue bit and share the points. That is a dick move. It is. And my husband does this to me all the time. I love Carcassonne. I cannot win at it. I'm rubbish at it, but I love it so much. But he does this to me all the time. And yellow is his colour, which is why that little yellow person is yellow. Things that I changed. I changed the white. So the road was just in white. I don't know if you can see that it sparkles. Maybe not. But now it's Petite Treasure Braid. 10. Not many stitches. Still an absolute carrot bag to stitch with, but it's fine. There's a bit of fudging on here. And I'm not going to lie to you. In the middle, here, there's supposed to be some of the light tan colour in the middle. Like 6 or 7 stitches. I'm sure that would look lovely. I'm not here for those things. So I didn't bother. Nope. Because it was literally the odd 1 or 2 stitch and I'm not. By the time I'd worked out how to stitch the piece, I literally just had like 2 or 3 stitches in the middle of nowhere. I'm inherently a lazy person. That wasn't getting done, so it got substituted with more stuff, I suppose. Right. They're my 2 finishes. And what it did was it really gave me the impetus to just stitch. I know I've seen a few people on Flosstube sort of say, oh, you know, I just find it so difficult. Not difficult, but you're sitting down and then you don't kind of pick up your stitching and stuff like that, and then you kind of get to the end of the week and you think, oh my god, why didn't I stitch? Now where I sit in the living room, all of my stitching stuff is right by me. I've got a box, all of my kits are like, all of my stuff is kitted up. I can literally just reach down, pick up a bag and everything is in there. I've got needles in there. I might just need to swap scissors around maybe. So why didn't I do that? I don't know. So after I'd finished those 2, it really gave me, I loved the feeling of finishing, like an accomplishment. So I just stitched a lot. I've stitched a lot. I did my 2 finishes. I stitched on that piece I'm supposed to be doing for my husband, but I keep cocking up. So yeah, I've put that down again. How hard is it to count to 10? Seriously. How hard is it to count to 10? Because on this particular piece, I can't seem to manage it. I keep messing it royally. And I think well, I know what's happened, and I haven't got it with me, and I just haven't got it in me. But basically, I messed up on one of my counts. So one of my sections in that particular piece of work is 1 stitch off. And it has thrown everything else off. And unless I remember that it's 1 stitch off, I'm merrily counting away and not allowing for that fudge piece. And so then it's just leading into all this miscounting. And what I need to do is just kind of sit down, dedicate some time, and just get it done. And I think I need to start on the bottom and meet the 2 fudge pieces in the middle to fudge them together, instead of having a fudge piece and have to fudge it all the way down. Go to the bit that I know is right, bring it up, and then fudge it with the bit that isn't, and not fudge it all the way down. I really liked that pattern. It's lovely. But I can't count to 10, so what are you going to do? What have I been stitching on? My Haid. One of my Haids. I won't show you the other because I've hardly done it. This. There we go. Oh, look. Needleminder. Denkai Designs. So, I bought a bunch of needleminders. I bought 3 from Denkai Designs and 2 from Needle Keep Emporium. And I pulled a few of them out. 1, 2, 3 of them I pulled out. And the box with the others, I do not know where they are. I don't know where they are. Oh, I think I'm only missing, no, I'm missing 2. I'm missing a Targaryen dragon, and I'm missing like a little mermaid one that I was going to stick on my mermaid piece. But no, I'm not, because it's not there. Anyway, so this is my height. And that is a bitch load of blue. Look how much blue that is. There's about 4,500 stitches in that piece. I am 60% through page 1, 1.6% through the entire thing. This is never going to be finished. I'm going to be 90 and still stitching on this sucker. If I still have working eyes, which, given my eyes, may be debatable. Why? But I've done quite a lot since I picked it up. I've done all down here. All of this. I've done about 1,700 stitches since Thursday, which is not an insignificant amount of stitches. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's like 600 stitches a day, which for me is very good. And it's made easier by the fact that it is just blue. And I fudge this like crazy as well. I mean, you know, we're all over the place. But I'm going to have to put it down for a bit because it's a lot of blue. It's a lot of blue. But let me just show you what she's going to look like when she is finished. See if you can see her. Isn't she beautiful? Look at that. Isn't she stunning? The artwork is Stephanie Poyman-Law, and if you ever are so inclined, you should look at her Facebook page, you should go and have a look on Haid, you should just have a look at her stuff. Gorgeous work, absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really pleased to be working on it. But as I say, it's going to take me the rest of my natural born life and possibly my descendants to get that sucker finished, because I can't be stitching on that much blue. But what I thought I might do is actually go across the top and then down the middle, so I'm starting to stitch on something with a bit of interest. So then I can go to a blue bit when I'm like, yeah, just whack through some, and then I can go to a middle bit where I feel like, actually no, I want something a bit more interesting to stitch on. Yeah, but we'll see. All the time in the world, right? So I've been stitching on that. I'm a little bit obsessed with small ones now because I did those finishes and I just wanted more finishes. So I thought I'll start a new small pattern. Let me just show you. I think a number of people have done all variants of this. Where are you? It's the seasonal celebrations and it's winter. Of course I'm doing winter. Of course I'm doing winter. And I've not done a lot on it. I was just stitching on it in my commute the other day. It's my next door neighbour's children, if you can hear them. Oh, here we go. I like people who smile in the rain. Denkai Designs. Love that one. So this is all I've done on this. Not a lot. But it's so quick. It's so quick to just stitch up. I'll probably take that one away with me as well. Take a couple, you know, I can't be stitching on the same thing for 5 days. Now, let me show you what I'm really excited about and what I was really pleased to be able to start stitching on. And there's numerous reasons for that. And we're going to go from what I've been stitching on to a little bit of haul. We're going to move seamlessly from stitching to haul. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. But this is what I was really excited about stitching. Sail at the Bubbling Cauldron. Ain't it pretty? It's just so much fun and super quick and easy. Well, not quick, but easy. It's a lovely little stitch. So, first off, let me talk about the fabric. This was the fabric that I mooted for my Mirabilia. I think back in my first video, I said that I had a Mirabilia. It was on fabric that I hated. I'd done a little bit on it and I wasn't feeling the fabric colour. It was like cute green. And so this was one of the fabrics that I thought maybe would be right for her, but it's 18 count and someone rightly said the beads might not fit, and I'm not sure that it was quite big enough for her. So I've bought another piece of fabric, and I think I know what I want to do with her now. So I was like, what can I do with this? And then I looked at sale at the Bobbin Cauldron. I thought it was perfect. So I started, and this is how much I've done. I got my little kitty cat. Needlework Emporium. Where are you? Needlework Emporium. Needleminder. The other one I got from her was a glittering leaf needle, which is on. It's on that project that I'm never going to pick up again because I can't count. Oh well, I'll get it done. So it's quite a nice little quick stitch. So I'm just going to show you the stitches. You can see. I mean, the white ones are heinous, but all white thread is heinous. Like the lighter thread's heinous, but isn't that nice? That is neither the called for over-dyed threads, nor is it DMC. No. It is in fact CXC, which is DMC dupes that you can get elsewhere. You can only get them on Wish and AliExpress and stuff like that. And there's a lady called Nicola. She started her own Facebook group called Cross Stitch Unlimited. I cannot pronounce her surname, begins with a H. And she has been kind of road testing these threads that are dupes for DMC colour-wise and giving them really good reviews. And I thought, you know, just take a plunge, because I don't have a lot of stash. I started stitching last year. I can't really go to my stash and pull anything out because I don't have anything. If I want to stitch a chart, I have to go out and buy the fabric and buy the floss and get it all set. So I have to really like a chart to do that. DMC over here, if you walk into a brick and mortar store, is between 92 and £1, 92 pence and £1. And if it's online, it's like 56 to 60p, which is still a fair chunk of change. So I just thought I'd take the plunge, and I bought a full set, equivalent DMC, 447 skeins for £25, CXC brand. And I thought, even if I only get 2 or 3 projects out, I've made my money back. But I have to say, I'm really impressed with the quality of the thread. Now, it is different. It's not an exact dupe. It's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit, until you get used to it, it's a little bit more unmanageable. You have to, there's a technique to it. And I don't normally say this because I've never really seen the point of thread heaven. I've used it with metallics and I've used it with DMC, and I'm like, I don't understand what it does for me. It hasn't done anything appreciable for me, but with this it has. It's really helped. So I would say if you're going to use this thread, use something like Thread Heaven or beeswax. So let me just show you this. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, so it's not as tightly wound as DMC. It's a little bit thicker, it's a little bit fluffier, but I like that. That is something that I particularly enjoy. I like my stitches fluffy and bouncy and full. It's a part of the reason why I stitch on 18 count, because they just look so tight. I really like that look. I'm not a fan of the stitching where you can see the fabric through, like deliberately see the fabric through because you're using 2 strands on 14 count or whatever. That's not a look that I particularly go for. So this stitches up well. As far as I can tell, the matches are good. I think when you get to purple tones, it's a little bit different. Honestly, if that's all your problem is, then that's nothing. So I've gone from sort of at the lowest end of what I could get DMC for, so 56 pence a skein to 6 pence a skein. I mean, that's an absolute bargain. I can now go and kit up everything. You can kit up a Haid for next to nothing, because it's £6 to kit up a Haid. Normally you'd be looking at anywhere between 50 to £88 just for the floss. Then you've got your fabric and your pattern. You cannot go far wrong. And I think there's at least a few sellers that you can just go to and request an Excel spreadsheet and request the skeins that you like. I think you pay a little bit more for that, but not much. A couple of pennies more. Seriously, I'm really happy with this stuff. I'm really glad that I bought it. And I now have a full set of equivalent DMC, so I can actually just kit everything up that I want to. I've got all my magazines in the other room. I'm going to go through those and pull out all of the patterns. I'm starting to get a stash of fabric up. I'm just so happy that I'm able to do this. You know, because otherwise it's prohibitive. A full set of DMC, even if you get it as a bargain, is 280 quid. I don't know about you, but I ain't got 280 quid to spare. And if I spent it on floss, I think my husband would divorce me. So that was one major part of my haul, and I've got it all in master plan because I haven't started arranging it or anything. So I mean, look, I mean, it's fine. It's a little bit. I will say it's a little bit difficult to thread a 28 needle with it. That is the only thing that I have found frustrating with this. I use a 28 needle on my 18 counts and 20 counts. I like the petites. It's smoother work for me, but I found it really difficult to thread. So I went to a 26 needle, not a problem. So you might just need a threader. And I know lots of people use those anyway. I don't. I'm a thread licker. My DNA is all over these suckers. So I was really just so happy with that, and just excited to start that praiseworthy project, which I'll be taking away with me. I've got quite a lot of travelling coming up, so I can just stitch to my heart's content. I'm going to take more than one project, obviously, because I'm not a nut job, and I'm not, as we have seen, I'm not one project at a time girl. And that's the neighbour's dog going absolutely doolally again. Right, I have more haul. No, I don't want that. That was from Friday, when I was working. I have more haul to show you. Let's see. I bought some more. I don't know why. Please stop me. Because I bought some more threads from Fabrics by LJ. Please stop me. They're just so pretty, but I have no idea what I'm going to use them for. This is Carnival. Blues, purples, reds shot through with white. Just stunning. I might bobbinate these though. I don't like the twistiness of it all. There's 10 yards there, which for $2.50, it's not bad. £2.20. About what I pay for hand-dyed threads anyway. This is chimichangas, just black and red, loving it. I don't know what am I going to do with these. Oh my god, what am I going to do with all of these things that I keep buying, and I don't know what to do with them. This is Shabunkin. This actually reminds me of a Koi carp. Blacks, orange, grey and white. Reminds me of Koi carp. What? I found a couple of mandala patterns. I am gonna buy them, aren't I? I'm gonna buy them. Because now I've got 8 hand-dyed threads. 2 of each colour. Emerald City. Green and white. And I need to be using them because they're beautiful. I don't know what they stitch up like. I'm sure they're fine. But what it has done is it made me look at the, and someone needs to stop me, it made me look at Int Circle's website, and I found a couple there. There's a Snowflake Mandala one, there's the Cirque de Cirque, Cadeau de Cirque, or Cirque de Cadeau. I don't like the triangle one, but I like the circle and the square one. Of course I need to buy fabric, and I need more thread than I have here. So then someone posted in Stitch Mania about, oh my god, between the children and the dogs. Can I muzzle anyway, it's crazy. We've lived here for over 6 months, and both the dogs on either side still think we're intruders. Anytime I go to open the window here, they bark at me It's not my house, apparently. Anyway, so yeah, I looked on Inch Circles, and of course I'd need the fabric, but then I sort of mentioned on Stitch Mania, because you're all enablers, silks for you. Oh my god. If you haven't seen any of the beautiful colours and the beautiful silks, you need to go and have a look and then sign your life away. They're Hanks, they're £20, they're equivalent of £20, but I think there's about 30 skeins worth in there, and they're just glorious. And I think I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to buy one of those, a massive Inch Circles pattern, and just go crazy, because I don't have enough to stitch on. Evidently. I need help. Last few bits of haul. I don't know if I showed you this one. It's like a creamy, turquoisey, mottled 28 count something or other. I don't know, I've lost the label. I've got a funny feeling I bought it for Mirabilia and then didn't like it for Mirabilia, which is not to say I haven't got shitloads I could stitch on it, but it's now not Mirabilia. I don't know if I showed you this one. And this is 16 count Ada. Why did I buy 16 count Ada? I don't know. I had stitch on 16 count Ada. But this is champagne. No, I haven't even taken this out of the packet. Of course I haven't shown it to you. I'm such a muppet. I've had it 4 months. I'm brilliant. Oh my word. Have I shown this? No, haven't even taken it out of the packet. My husband would lose his mind. Hi, honey. This is a really light, you can't even see it. It's like, I'm not even going to pretend. Maybe. Yeah, it's a really light, pale, lemony yellow, mottled, and it will eventually be for my husband for our anniversary. Bought me some stitchy bits. He bought me a Bothy Threads love tree, but I don't like the Ada that came with because it was white and stiff. And I thought it'd be nice, and it's quite a sparse design, and I haven't started it yet because I need to figure out exactly how much back stitching I'm going to do, because there's a lot of back stitching on that pattern and I am not. Did you know there are people out there that like back stitching? Wow, really does take all sorts to make the world go round. If you really like back stitching, call me, because you could do my back stitching for me. I just need to work out what I'm going to do with that back stitching. Who knows? This is what I bought for my Mirabilia. Where is my Mirabilia? There she is. I'll pick her up and show you to her so you can see. Now, I actually have her here so I can show you. This is the colour of the fabric, and you'll see that it's 40. It was supposed to be 16 count, and it wasn't supposed to be the shade of green, but it's 14 count, which upsets me because I hate stitching on 14 count. And you can see I've done this bit, and I've done a bit of her hair. But, mate, I just can't face it. I just do not like this fabric. I find this fabric really difficult to stitch on. Just the colour of it and the count. Like, I was using 3 strands because the coverage was just manky. Like, the 2 strands are up there and the coverage is manky. So then I started using 2 strands of the whatever colour this is, 3371 I think. Down here I started with 2 strands and it just looked awful on 14 count. So then I started with 3. Anyway, I don't like the fabric. I'm not even going to stitch on it. I'm not even going to tear out the threads and stitch on it. It's just not going to happen. So that was the original fabric which came with, and this is her. So she was supposed to be on something slightly darker. She's beautiful. So I went the other way. And I got this, and this is Spring at Lakeside. This is 16 count Ada. I wasn't going to stitch on 14 because I hate 14. And I couldn't stitch on 18 because of the beads. So I went for 16 count, so it's not too bad. Now, oh, you can see the mottling. Look at that. Greens and lemons and pinks. It's beautiful. I mean, this is from Chromatic Alchemy as well. She's some sort of magician. Look at what she produces. I mean, that's just stunning. So I'm really happy about that. And I wasn't going to stitch her border, but I think this fabric is so gorgeous. I just want to use as much of it as possible, so I'm going to stitch the border. I don't know when I'm going to start her again. I'm still a little bit intimidated by the beading. I've never beaded before. Actually, it's just... So that was Spring at Lakeside, 16 count Ada, Chromatic Alchemy. One final bit. On my last episode, I spoke a little bit about how I'd picked up a pattern from a magazine. It was another Emma Condom special, when Santa got stuck down the chimney, and I'd started stitching it on a dark 16 count Ada. And I didn't realise how many fractionals there were, which are the bane of your life when you're stitching on Ada. And I didn't like the coverage. Oh my god, those dogs. Can someone give them a steak or a sausage or something? Jesus. They're actually, one's this side and one's that side, and they're now actually barking at one another. Live my life. Anyway, yes, so this pattern had lots of fractionals, which is never really going to work when you're on Ada, and the coverage sucked because light colours, light DMC, on a dark fabric, the coverage was a bit murky. And so I appealed to you fine people, and you fine people were like, yeah, get a different fabric. So I did, and I got 28 count Brittany Lagana in candy cane from Chromatic Alchemy. I believe this is dyed shaving foam styling. But how can you not have this piece of fabric when it's called candy cane? That's gorgeous. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I'm really pleased with that. So I'm going to start that as well. Yeah, so that's me. I wish I could show you my needle minders, but that would require me having my needle minders and not losing them, like some sort of muppet. Oh, where's that gone? Put it in there, I forget where it is. So as I said, I've got a bit of travelling coming up. I'm going to take a few pieces with me, because I won't just stitch on the one piece for 5 days unless I get on a roll. So it'll probably be Praiseworthy. It might be this one. It might be Santa Got Stuck Up the Chimney. I'm not going to take my Haid. I can't stitch on the ferry and the train with that malarkey, can I? Just everywhere, all over the table. No, you can't sit there. My stitching stuff's there. Because you may or may not recall, and may or may not care, but I stitch in hand. Hate hoops, hate frames, just, no. It's a lot quicker. Just stitching in hand, just get that stuff done. So I can't really travel with my Haid. I might take it anyway. Let me get the other side. So those are my plans. Yeah. So I wasn't really going to say anything, but I might. Again, there was another post about what people choose to do in their videos. Showing haul, having a drink. Now, I have been talking for 38 minutes, non-stop, which is not necessarily out of the realm of possibility for me, but nevertheless that's what I've done, and my mouth gets dry. So I had a drink. That's slurping. Oh man, I'm not here for you guys. Seriously, if there are things that I see on Flosstube videos that are not my cup of tea, and that's fine. I don't have to be catered to. You don't have to cater to everybody. It's just not my cup of tea. But I'm not going to go on their Flosstubes and say, oh, you should do this or you shouldn't do this because I really don't like it. That's how they're choosing to interact with the community and how they are presenting themselves, and it's got nothing to do with me. You know, they have their followers. If you don't like it, There are so many floss tubers. You will find something you like, I guarantee it. Don't be bitchy about it, man. Come on. It takes time to do this. So I've done this. It's taken me sort of half an hour, 40 minutes to gather my stuff together. I've had to kick my son out because I'm not going to get a chance to do this before I go away. And then after I come back, it's just going to be like, oh, I'll just let it slide. And I don't want to do that. So my husband and son have been banished. I've got all my stuff together. I've done this. This has taken 40 minutes. The other 20 where I spent talking because I had to re-record because I'm an idiot, I'm then going to have to edit it together because I've got 2 videos now. I'm going to have to get the shots together and make sure that like the sound works, and God forbid I have to re-record. You know, you're looking at a good 3 hours before I even think about uploading it. And I just move on, mate. Like, you're not paying for it. It's not like you've requested it and you're like, oh yeah, I'll pay for this and I didn't get it. It's the one thing that's guaranteed to grind my gears, because people put themselves out there to share with you, and you do that. Now, the majority of Flosstube community are lovely, welcoming people who are always really happy to see your progress and to talk to you and share their lives with you, and that is awesome, and that is what I love about being part of this community and doing my Flosstubes. I don't have a lot of subscribers. Thank you to everybody that does subscribe and that does last through all of my videos. That's fantastic. Thank you for even watching 3 minutes of my video. That's fantastic. And it's just great to know that everybody gets that welcome. It'd be nice to keep it like that and not moan because someone has a drink or says or do what I do, flip my hair all the time. You know? It's not cool. So that was the one thing, and then there was other drama, and I just, oh God, I never knew there'd be so much drama at cross stitch. What? And I've been on a Song of Ice and Fire board for 15 years. Jesus. Anyway, that was the Stitchy world. And that's it from me. It'll probably be another 6 weeks, so we'll be fully in autumn. So excited, because autumn is right next to winter, and winter just contains Christmas. So, oh my God, I can't even tell you how excited I am right now for Christmas. I need help. So yeah, it'll probably be about another 6 weeks. I'm hoping to get a lot of stitching done. I hope you get a lot of stitching done, and I will catch you on the flip side. Take care, Flosstubers.